I'll produce some magic burgers.
The last time you tried this, we wound up with live turkeys.
Can I help it if my hat thought it was Thanksgiving?
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about Wave 2 of Dungeons & Dragons from Hasbro. We had some problems and issues with the first round of figures. Finally got my hands on these at stores, GameStops actually, just at GameStops. But I was able to get my hands on these, and we're going to take a look at them. We're going to open them up. I'm going to unbox them. We're going to see if the correct figure's in there, because, you know, as you guys know, I got the wrong figure, and I got a Diana in my Hank box. And so with that, we're going to look at this. We're going to compare it to all of the other ones, and then just talk a little bit about this line. I'm so glad they're making it. Sad that this marks the end of it. I wish they would have done more, and I would have been in for everything that they made, but it's a little bit too late and too bad. But I'm so happy we complete the team, and we're going to look at this coming up. So in my last video, I looked at the packaging and then the figure and opened it. And we're going to look at all the packaging together, and then we're just going to get into opening them one at a time. But as you can see, we have the closed box, which is terrible. This is the only time we're ever going to get these. So I don't think they'll ever reissue them. But if they did, hopefully they reissue them when we're back into we're out of the dark times of Hasbro and into maybe a brighter time where we get to see the figures again in a plastic bubble. They at least they made a positive net point 0.000000000. How many is 38,000 zeros? 1% impact positively on the environment. So anyway, there's the back of it, and yeah, it's not bad packaging at all, except for the fact you can't see it. And the interesting thing about this too is it's just one piece of cardboard folded up and glued down, so they don't hit the glue just right. You have this little stripe right here. They didn't hit the glue on it. They didn't get it perfectly aligned because it's extremely complex. It's much different to just stamp down a bubble and glue it on. So anyway, there's Eric, and as you can see, so I guess the figure's going to be gray, and the character's got the blue. So that's not going to match the cartoon character, but this should be what the figure looks like. We'll see. We'll do that little bit of a comparison. So if that looks okay, cool. Okay, cool. And then Sheila's packaging. So it's pretty much all the same packaging, more or less. You just get the character on it. I like the more vibrant colors of the picture than what maybe the figure will look like. Maybe the figure will have those vibrant colors. We'll find out. We're going to find out about that. And then there's the back. So with that, there's something clever that they did. So as you can see, you make a little diagram scene here. And if you bring in Wave 1, they make a full-on diorama. So that's kind of cool. Sort of matches, and I'm going to shake your camera just for a second. Sort of matches the background we see up here. And yeah, so as you can see, it does match that. But I do want to show something about this, and so I didn't know this was a thing. I watched someone's video and they pointed it out, and then also here there's no elbow. It's almost as if they didn't fully plan the whole thing or how it was all going to work. They just got to Wave 1, and then when they did Wave 2, they picked up where they left off with Wave 1, so there's no elbow on there. But I still think this cool collage kind of thing that they put together, it's interesting, but I'd rather have had a bubble. So I really need to start writing down these YouTube-isms, because somebody said that if you don't film it like opening something, then it never really happened if you're on YouTube, which is kind of funny because that's just almost how I feel these days. So we're going to start with opening Presto, and all kinds of jokes you can make about open up Presto, there he is, or there he's not, or yeah, this is not fun to take out. So we do get this baggie, and so here's going to be his accessory. So I think I got the right figure in here, or correct figure. Now I do want to point out Presto is short packed in there, and and I probably should have weighed these guys too. I weigh them to see if they're right, but if need be, I can always put them all back, put the genie back in the box and weigh them again and see what they weigh. So this is, okay, cut the tape, pull him out, and there he is. And so we had a lot of joint issues with the first go around. I haven't heard anyone having joint issues this go around, and with this. Okay, Presto out of the box, and I get to handle him just for a little bit so I can have something to say or talk about him. So this is kind of one of the poses you can put him in where he's holding his hat, and then this piece plugs into the hat, which would be the same shape of this that plugs into the hat also, and then this also plugs into the hat also. So those are some things that can be used. And then this over here plugs into his wrist, which actually, according to the picture right here, shows that piece just kind of hovering out there, not really held onto it. That is way too heavy for this connection to just hover this piece right there, so I don't think that's going to work. I will probably just display with this hat on, and that's the way I'm going to do it. So this option here, so we're going to unplug this piece, and he's just kind of holding on to that hat like so. Then we can plug in this. I guess we can just see how this works, sort of match it up. There's the key, there's that, plug it in. And then we put it into his hand, and he can hold his hat like he's casting a spell, and you can get him in like a spell casting pose, and he can look something like this, which is fine, which is cool. So I'm having trouble with his knees. They do go, but it took me a while to get him to go. I didn't use hot water or anything yet on him, but he stands pretty well like this. I think this does actually look pretty good, like a little wizard he is, little magic user. And then let's see. We will go ahead and pop his hair off, which was hard the first time. It's still, believe it or not, it's still hard the second time, which I don't know if that's good or a bad thing for it to be that hard the second time, but it's kind of a rubbery, but a hard rubbery surface, so we're going to line that up. We got his hat on now, and so this is how I will probably display him, and then of course I'll try to figure out a way to get this in there. Something like that, I guess. I guess that's something how I'm going to display mine. Something along these lines, probably something where I can rest that on the ground so it doesn't straighten that out there. Now, I'm not really going to go through the articulation because it's very simple, like 360 there, all the way out to here. We got the elbow, hand. But I'm afraid I'm going to break something on this guy. You got waist, and then you got the same stuff with the knee. And so, same articulation with the other figures, the round one. So if you've got the first series one, then you know. But I am afraid I will break these, so there's all that. It's not bad. It's not horrible. He's probably got the most accessories out of all of them, so this is probably the longest. The rest of them go pretty quick. And you got, what side die? A 4-side die? This, I don't know. Quadra die. Anyway, there's Presto. He's pretty decent. Let's get on to the rest of them. So next up for your unboxing pleasure here is Eric. It's kind of the Cavalier. He's so cavalier about getting unboxed that he doesn't even know what color his armor is yet. And yeah. Well, I gotta admit, I do like that I can put these back in the boxes, and so that's gonna be kind of okay, but I don't like not having the bubble and having displaying the sealed one. How are you going to display the sealed one? Let's go ahead and be a little bit more refined here and use these skizzers that have been used for a million other things, but here we go. And here is, he's got an extra little piece of paper in there, adds to the net weight for his cape. He does have the silver chain link armor. Let's see if we can bend it without. So I do feel like these are a little bit better than the Series 1 ones for the joints. Watch me say that as I break a joint. Hope not to break a joint. And then there's his face, and there he is. Okay, we're going to just get him unboxed, and I'm going to mess around with him just a bit. All right, so here we go with Eric, and I got to tell you, he feels really cheap, and it's really hard to get him to stand. I didn't feel like Presto felt cheap. I just felt like his articulation wasn't very precise. And maybe that's a good example of this too. But I'm just noticing, if you look at his knee, it looks like he can move his leg and knee to get it to a side angle. But they're straight on. You can't move that to achieve the picture that they show there. These are both straightforward. You can move the lower leg, which is what I did to sort of get him to stand. And it takes quite a bit to get him to stand. There's quite a bit of just messing with them. Anyway, it does come with a 9-sided die. It's a 0 to 9. It's technically 10 sides, but 9 is as high as it goes. It does not go to 10 or anything like that. But with that, this is a nice looking figure. Not the best. The sculpt doesn't really match the picture, the cartoon, but it does sort of match the actual picture on the front of the figure, like what you would have seen. If you were to actually have this in the store and look at the figure and look at the picture and look at the figure and look at the picture, you'd be like, that doesn't match. But I mean, we're gonna buy them anyway if we want to complete the set. But I'm just saying, And of course, the blue, this is gray chainmail versus that being blue, and all of the issues that go along with it. I'm still glad we have them, but man, I can see a ton of people doing some customs, and I'm a little scared of doing any custom work on this. Popping the limbs off, will they break? Will they pop back on? I don't know. I might customize it. Doesn't seem like it would be that hard just to paint that blue. But okay, let's get into looking at him. He has this rubbery skirt kilt thing going on here. It's like something from back in the day. He's got a rubbery kind of cape, which I bet you if you pop his head off, he takes cape off if you wanted to. I don't want to. Why would you want to? And then it does look like he has some molded in pieces right here on his cape. His head, he's got like some little kind of spiky, like a cartoony looking, alfalfa looking thing going on right there. The head wouldn't be bad. I would have liked a better expression. I think they were trying to just go with an expression like a devious expression. I think that's what happened right there. He does have some yellow gloves, and he does have yellow here, chainmail, and then that's pretty much everything about him. Now he does have this shield, which will clip to his arm, but you can't really get the right pose, in my opinion. You can't really get it to look right. It's just that's probably the best you're going to get out of him. A little pose like that going on. But you can also take off this rubbery piece here. Now, I felt like this is how they should have done the bow with Hank, is you can have just a standard shield, or you can have the shield infused with magic. And this little rubbery piece here this is absolutely amazingly perfect for this. Although it does feel like he doesn't come with much, because this is all he comes with. But, you know, when it comes to Hank, I would have liked to have seen that with the bow, like the energy infused bow. So it's possible that they maybe took some... They watched the Tidarium Hangers video and they said, oh, Mike said that's what they should have done. Let's fix it with Eric. Maybe that's what they did. Because they didn't actually show these off when Wave 1 came out. But you have his standard bow. You have the energy infused bow. But it should have been parts that you clip on, not rubbery, but just clear plastic that you just clip on to that bow. So you should have the solid bow and then you just have the energy pieces. That's what would have been better. But instead you get two bows, which is okay, because technically you can use this bow for someone else or something, but I would have preferred it like this. Where's my manners, Sheila? It should have been ladies first, right? She says, nah, it's 2023. It's okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. As Eric falls over. That's so fits their characters, right? All right, we're going to pull this... So there's out of there. Let's see if we actually have the right figure in here. And yeah, so they're batting 1,000 now. That'll work for me. Ooh, I ripped it. That's the only one I ripped. I should have used the scissors. Darn it. Because this special paper, if I ever want to put it back in there and feel like I have a new figure. There she is. She looks okay. Does she stand on her own right out of the package? No, none of them do. None of them can just stand on their own right out of the package. That's like... rite of passage here, to mess with their feet for 4 minutes till you can get them to stand up. Okay, well, let's just... I'll reset all this and come back. Everybody wants to watch me fiddle with all of this, but let's see what she comes with. I don't think she comes with much. I think Presto did not set a correct precedent of what we're going to get. So I got this solid cloak and this, and... that's about it. All right, I'll be back. All right, so I got her standing and twice. Good. She fell over once. So we've got here a six-sided die. Great. And then here she is. The paint looks great. She looks fantastic. Nice face. The hood works. I would like a soft goods. Someone out here had a soft goods, but then they have this kind of, it's starting to disappear. So this is cast in clear plastic, I believe, and then just painted, versus this here, or clear plastic, rubbery, and then painted. You can see my finger back there. So that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. So I probably will I'm not sure which one I display her with. I would like a cloth cloak, though. That would be nice. That'd be really cool. I've heard of some people that make stuff that would probably work. Got to get some stuff for but she's not scale. They're a little bit short, in my opinion, but anyhow, she does look exactly like the picture right there. So that they held up that end of the bargain, and then anyhow, she does have the other gimmick. Now I'm gonna see if I can get her head off without having to heat it up. And yeah, it came off just fine. Great. That wasn't hard. I was worried about that. All right, now this is how you put the other cloak on. Pop her head on. So that wasn't bad. That actually wasn't really bad at all. So she does have a double kind of dog bone kind of head articulation. I guess they all have that. So that's cool. The head just pops off nice and easy. I like that. And then there she goes. So you can have her in this configuration if you want. There it is. That is not a bad configuration right there. You can do all kind of poses and stuff. Looks like she kind of a pose would have something to do with like kind of moving her cape out of the way as she's running, like they show over there. But yeah, she's a good looking figure overall. Would have liked a little bit deeper colors to it than everything just being sort of kind of like lukewarm looking colors. And also looking at this packaging here, the cape looks more transparent, almost like if you took like a green scrub pad, you could scrub this paint off and make it more transparent, but it doesn't look that transparent. It's like transparent up to about 1.5 inches, and then the paint overspray is just so strong you don't really see, you don't benefit from the transparency much more than that little bit down there. So that was kind of a flaw. I probably won't display this stuff then, because I think that is kind of a flaw right there. The other thing about the cape is they're not the same cape. This one has the downed hood, as to where this one you're supposed to have the hood up, because that's the difference between invisibility and non-invisibility and all that. So that's some details that they put into it. So pretty cool figure. So far they all look decent. They're going to look good. Let's do some comparisons. Okay, so here's kind of a comparison, size comparison. They are just slightly shorter than Star Wars Black Series, and I guess you could argue about the same height as Black Series. I guess his cloak makes it kind of hard to actually tell. But I wanted to pick him because I think that the soft goods cloak on the Emperor, this is kind of what I think they should have done with her, which it almost looks like you could just swap them. But, of course, it wouldn't be purple, and it wouldn't be a cloak. It's like more of a robe. But anyway, this is the 7-inch scale, which these would definitely not fit very well, 7-inch scale. We're going to see them next to NECA here in just a bit. I kind of feel like the G.I. Joe Classified line is much bigger than the Star Wars, the Black Series. And then the Indiana Jones is more along the Star Wars Black Series. I think they're even made by the same team. G.I. Joe Classified is a different team. So with it, I just like to pull out Belloc Ceremonial along with Zartan, and that is my custom because I was not allowed to own an SDCC. Thank you, Hasbro. And I was making him my mascot for a while there, but I don't really review much Hasbro stuff, so I don't know, let that beef lie. No, I'm going to keep bringing it up. Here they are with NECA. NECA absolutely towers over them, but man, it looks good. So NECA's going for LJN, and this is going for cartoon. And I think I don't know if I'd like this look from cartoon characters. I like the cartoon look from cartoon characters. So when I really look at this and compare and contrast, I'm still glad Hasbro did them, even though the quality is not the greatest. And they didn't include as many accessories as they probably could. They could have done a lot of things different. They could have matched the animation a little bit better. But I think leave the real world look with NECA for the LJN line and give us the toon look like this, that's fine. I just would have liked more characters. This is also the little PVC, so if you're going out collecting PVCs for $50 to $100 a piece for these little just, statues, and when people say figurine, this is a figurine, by the way. Those are figures. Those are not figurines. Big difference. Small verbiage change, big difference. Anyway, that's what that all looks like. Alright, so here they all are together. Tiamat is the LJN Tiamats. They didn't ever make one. Everybody was hoping they'd do that, even a HasLab or something along those lines. Tiamat is seriously underscaled for the LJN line, so barely even existent compared to these guys, but here they all are. Now it's a nice looking group of characters. We can have them on a shelf. We can have our shelf. Everything will be great. But I wish they would have done more. I wish the quality would have been better. I wish they would have had some of the coloration a little bit better and, better. But I'm satisfied for what it is. It's not the greatest set of figures ever made. It's not horrible, but it's sort of lukewarm in the middle of the road. For the price point, they're a bit expensive. But hey, take advantage of the sales. Get them on clearance. $11, $12 each on Amazon. About that price on Target. I'll have a link down below where you can go to Amazon and just pick them up and get them pretty cheap, pretty fast. And with that, I don't know if I would trust buying them sealed 2 years from now because we don't know what's in the box. And so there's a lot of issues with this line, but I'm happy with it overall. I like how they included this backdrop as an inclusion, so you could display it like that, and I think that's how most people will. And that's how I display mine, so it looks really good. And I'm curious what you think. Were you in on this line? Did you get this line? Did you pick up one or two characters you thought they were cool? Did you even remember this? Is this like, oh my gosh, I remember that show now? I didn't remember it before this came out. So let me know. Like, subscribe. Todirum Hanger out.
Keep going. From up here, we may be able to see which way to go to get home.
Bobby, you can't just go charging off like that.
Fine. I'd trade anything for Dad's limousine right now.